A very good evening. Much thanks for joining us here on the program. This is Lookup News, coming to you live from Kenya's capital, Nairobi. There's lots that we've got lined up for you this evening. We are keeping up with the doctors' strike, which is on its 29th day, as well as the thick fertilizer probe and so much more in this broadcast this evening. I am Nancy Nalima. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Angel Lois. Do stay with us as we bring you up to speed. Let's begin. Azimio leader Raila Odinga has finally weighed in on the ongoing doctors' strike, slamming the government over the decision to reduce intern doctors' stipend. As Ian Kitani now reports, Odinga has called on the government to address the stalemate and find a solution as patients continue to bear the brunt of the ongoing strike.
For the past 29 days, patients across various hospitals have been in agony after medics across the country downed their tools, with the government now saying it can only engage with the doctors if they resume their duties. This stalemate has forced Azimio leader Raila Odinga to address the issue for the first time, slamming the government over the decision to reduce the stipends accorded to intern doctors.
I therefore ask the government to reinstate the 206,000 shilling pay for interns until the next CBA negotiation, which is around the corner, kicks in. For the last 7 years, interns have been earning 206,000 shillings per month. These are actually the doctors running level 4 and many other public hospitals. There is no way an employer can reduce the salaries of employees midstream.
With the various county governments, including Nyeri and Kisumu, noting that doctors within their jurisdiction and on strike will not be paid, the former Prime Minister cautioned against going forward with the decision, calling on the county chiefs to reconsider their stance.
I appeal to the counties that have terminated contracts of the doctors for one reason or another to reconsider their actions and engage the doctors. The counties that have done so or are in the process of doing so know themselves. I request them to reconsider their steps.
Odinga also decried the issue of pay disparity despite same level of experience, while calling on the government to address the issues at hand immediately.
Doctors are complaining about a free-for-all system where some employers have the free hand to decide what to pay. The result has been a very unequal system where doctors hired to do the same job experience huge variation in salaries. This is a crisis that has serious ramifications. We want this crisis to be resolved. We have not spoken before, but we want the government to take notice that we cannot remain silent for a longer time when this is persisting. We ask them to act now.
Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
Away from that, Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mithika Lenturi maintains that the dubious fertilizer being probed over allegations it was a fake product disguised as government-subsidized fertilizer was only substandard. Lenturi told the Senate Agriculture Committee on Thursday that the fertilizer, which was distributed across the country through the government's National Cereals and Produce Board stores, only fell short of the approved nutrient composition ratio. The Agriculture Minister pushed against the committee, calling the fertilizer fake, insisting they call it substandard.
As the probe over the sale of fake fertilizer sold to farmers continues, pleading with the farmers and promising to compensate them, CS Mithika Lenturi, while appearing before the Senate Committee on Agriculture, has admitted that all the distribution suppliers met the standards set by the Quality Control KEBS, with only Joe Kariuki's company KL Chemicals Limited failing to comply with the required standards, as more than 3,000 bags of fertilizers were retrieved from the market for failing to meet the requisite standards.
And that is what we are saying, Chairman. Out of this total consignment, only 3,000 bags from the batch that was produced, I think it's from between 2nd and 5th, it's what under an error.
Linturi also promised that the government will not pay the fake fertilizer suppliers, insisting that the fertilizer in question was found in the Malaba constituency and that it was distributed by Kakamega County and not the government.
Mkulima ambaye ameumia amepoteza pesa yake ambayo alinunua mbolea ambayo haifai, amepoteza nafasi ya kulima kwa sababu msimu hauwezi kutungojea unaenda, itakuwa namna gani?
The first time CS claimed that the circulation of fake fertilizers was done by those with ill intentions following the success of food in the country after their business of importing food was dealt a blow due to huge milestones on food production in the country.
Ama kuna mfumo fulani wa watu ambao wanataka kuangaisha na kuharibu nyenzo za serikali za kuhakikisha kwamba tunapata mbolea inayostahili katika nchi ya Kenya.
Claims echoed by NCPB Managing Director Joseph Kimote that out of 69,000 fertilizer sacks acquired, more than 64,000 had been sold out to farmers and the money handed over to the distributors within 2 days after being sold to the farmers.
One thing which I can say for sure is that before we commenced the supply of this product, we were convinced that those manufacturers had the necessary approvals from the regulatory bodies. We are 100% convinced, and we did our own due diligence. They had the necessary raw materials and everything required to be able to produce.
The committee sought CS Linturi's understanding on awarding his relative a tender in the ministry to distribute fertilizers and why the CS and NCPB Chief Officer Joseph Kimote had not resigned from their respective offices up to date following the fake fertilizer issue.
Wakati imeingia ofisi store yako, ulifanya kazi gani kuhakikisha hiyo fertilizer ni mzuri? Na wakati imetoka kwa hiyo factory yako, hiyo godown yako, ulifanya nini kuhakikisha hiyo fertilizer inafika kwa raia au kwa farmers ikiwa mzuri? Na kwa sababu gani mkulima alipogundua hii makosa iko, wewe kama mkurugenzi uko kwa ofisi paka leo, kwa nini hujajiuzulu?
Stanley Lugaria, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Education CS Ezekiel Machogu was today grilled by the National Assembly Public Investment Committee I beg your pardon, over the overpayments of university fees to students in private universities. Machogu also failed to explain reasons behind placing more students to private universities than public ones by Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Services.
The National Assembly Public Investment Committee has ordered the Directorate of Criminal Investigation as well as Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to move the speed to surcharge public officers from the Ministry of Education over deliberately overpaying 17.7 million Kenya shillings to 387 students in private universities.
That we are inviting EACC and DCI. Okay? In the meantime, go for the money you can recover, Honorable Minister. But we are going for those people. Yeah, those are criminals. Actually, they belong to jail.
This is according to the report by Auditor General, where the funds established by the Ministry of Education without the board also paid 35.2 million Kenya shillings to 788 students who had already graduated, as well as paying another 413 million to 9,489 students, exceeding the academic programs.
Point do you ask the universities, or at what point do you realize that there is an overpayment, and when do the universities then take note as well and refund?
Corps, on the other hand, placed 194 students to 4 private universities than their declared capacity, where it was also accused of overplacing students to private universities in detriment to already dying public universities.
After checking with the university, because it's about funds, and that is the whole point with this committee, and on this matter as well. Because if I was to be asked, we would have to then just audit purely, I don't know from where, which year to which year, on issues to do with the payment of school fees to universities individual. Because even when I pay CDF, I can't pay 2 students. It's not even possible. And I cannot accept, even in my office, that I pay CDF a check to a student twice. And that is what the chair is saying. Clearly, probably the officers who are dealing with this knew what they were doing and probably colluding with the universities to get back the money. And you have clearly stated that only 4 million has been refunded. So if this...
However, Machogu defended himself over the already distributed amount of 15 billion Kenya shillings released since 2015 without the Board of Trustees to 32 private universities, that some of the queries were way back before assuming office.
It's not the university funding board which were doing this. It was the ministry. These are relations to be run because we are equally concerned that this is money that we cannot be able to account for all these years. I wish the auditors were proactive in a manner that each and every year these things will be pointed out such that remedial action should have been done then, because we are talking of almost 6-7 years down the line.
Waziri.
Aaron Kinyamasio, Lookuptv from Parliament Building.
KMPDU Nyanza Chairman Dr. Onyango Ndonga has condemned remarks by Kisumu County Governor Anyang' Nyong'o over stopping remunerations of doctors who will not report to work henceforth. Kisumu Governor Anyang' Nyong'o earlier today announced that the county will not remit salaries to healthcare workers who have been on strike. Through a statement, the governor noted that the resolution has been reached after a cabinet meeting, which resolved that no remuneration will be made for work not performed. Nyong'o says they consider the health workers who have been away from duty as absconders, and in line with the Labour Relations Act, they do not deserve any payments.
Today morning we received a communication from the governor of Kisumu instructing his public service to withdraw pay or the doctors working in Kisumu County from the payroll. We want to condemn this with the strongest terms possible. The right to strike for 60 years have been recognized by ILO as a way of dispute resolution, and our Constitution, Article 41, recognizes the right to go on strike by the workers as one of the activities that the unions participate in. And therefore, this does not hinder our resolve. This does not dampen our spirit to fight for what is rightfully ours. We want to thank Kenyans who, despite the very difficult times, they have supported us. And we want to tell the government that time has come when the right things must be done. When we append signatures to agreements, we must follow through, and we must make sure that these agreements are honored. And this includes court orders. For Kisumu County, we appreciate that the governor has tried to reach out to the doctors. Unfortunately, the situation we find ourselves in is a situation that has been occasioned by the national government failure to honor a CBA that we signed in 2017. And therefore, until the government honors that CBA 2017, this strike continues to take its course, its natural course, and it will only come to an end when both parties, that is KMPDU and the governments, the national government and all the 47 governments, sit down and agree. Threats are not going to stop the strike.
We take a very short break here on the program. So much more on the other side, including Turkana grounded ambulances, despite the Ministry of Health in the county receiving adequate funding. Don't go too far.
University of Kenya, which was chartered on the 3rd of August 2023, aims to revolutionize higher education by breaking down barriers such as cost, previous exam grades, and geographical location through online open learning at the comfort of your home, job, etc., thus ensuring accessibility to education for all members of the society. In a nutshell, Open University of Kenya leverages technology to deliver education.
Open University has brought a new dawn in the Kenya education system, where learners are able to access education in a flexible, affordable, and all-inclusive.
Intakes ongoing for May and September. For more information, call us on 0202000211 or 0202000212 or email us at info@ouk.ac.ke. Open University of Kenya, an innovative university for inclusive prosperity. Come, let us show you place spot to build your dream home in Baraka Gardens, situated just 5.4 kilometers from Blue Post Junction along the Thika Gatura Road. Place finest with secure gated community, Majina Stima Eco on-site, Usitans na stories za title deeds ziko ready. Plus, flexible payment plans and financing options. Pay 30% and clear the rest in installments. Get in touch, twende site visit. For more information, contact 0794 333 222 or 0722 668 700 or visit our website www.mahasibuhousing.co.ke. Experience the beauty of Baraka Gardens today.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. Lookuptv News with Nasina Lima and Angel Lois on the sign language interpretation. It is a sad state of affairs for patients requiring emergency medical services in Turkana County due to the shortage of ambulances in certain sub-county hospitals, despite the Department of Health receiving significant funding. As a result, patients in need of emergency care have to resort to using motorcycle to get medical assistance. Both residents and doctors are urging the government to step in and bolster medical resources within the county. George Kayesi now files.
With the doctor strike in its 29th day as patients continue to bear the brunt of medics downing their tools, doctors in Turkana County have expressed frustration that they are undergoing when providing medical services to residents of Turkana County. It is a sad state of affair for more than 70% of residents. If one is sick and in urgent need of medical assistance, then he or she is likely to die.
Kuna watu wanaweza kuwa wagonjwa ama kwa upande ya mgumu, lakini kwa sababu ya ambulance hakuna, wanatembea na pikipiki. Sangine mtu anaumwa na nyoka ama anaumwa na kitu yoyote kama sasa wakati ya mvua, lakini sasa hawezi kufika Dodwa kwa sababu wanatembea na pikipiki. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali yetu ya kaunti waone njia ya kutengeneza hii ambulance hii. Nimeona iko mingi sana kwa garage.
The shortage of ambulances has forced some of the doctors to use bodabodas to attend to patients and ferry them to Lodwar Referral Hospital. The most recent incident being a doctor forced to transport a patient by using a bodaboda who was in critical condition to the Lodwar Referral Hospital.
Only one doctor covering one whole sub-county. And this doctor has to deal with the medical issues, the surgical issues, and all the emergencies. And in case there's a referral from one sub-county to the main hospital, LCRH, there's no proper referral system. You find patients being carried by border borders. We are losing mothers who are being carried. They need emergency CSs, and they're being carried through border borders. We don't have proper referral systems in the county, and we demand, if there is no proper health care or proper services that you are going to offer, we demand the government to sit with us or we'll go on a complete shutdown.
The situation is evidently dire, with the most ambulances grounded because of mechanical problems in the garages, as the Chief Officer of Health, Dr. Lokoel, confirms. He further said that there are 23 ambulances and only a few are in garages due to mechanical problems. This is despite the Department of Health receiving high allocation of funds each financial year.
Of these 23 ambulances, they have all been actually decentralized to sub-counties and to sub-county hospitals. This is for the simple reason that so that they can be able to quickly respond in a timely manner to all emergencies that will occur. So time after time, of the 23 ambulances, there are a few that are actually due for service, so they're in garages. There are a few that have mechanical issues because you know the terrain of Turkana
However, the question remains, who will be held accountable for the mess as patients continue to suffer? George Kayesi, Lookuptv.
The owner of the bar that killed 17 people in Kangai, Kirinyaga County will wait between 60 to 90 days for bond application. Kerugoya High Court Judge Richard Mongo has said the bail application will be concluded after witnesses identified by the prosecution team are heard within the 60 to 90 days. On 14th March, John Murithi, two others and 4 police officers were charged with the murder but were released on bond where Murithi was denied.
As the crackdown against illicit liquor continues across the country, the main suspect in the sale of illicit liquor that led to the death of 17 people in Kangai, Kirinyaga County was in court today. And despite being hopeful that he will be granted bond, his hope was dashed with Judge Richard Monga ruling that the bond application for John Murithi, along others involved, will be determined within a time frame of 60 to 90 days. Despite initially being denied bond, Murithi, along with police officers and other defendants, was subsequently released on bond, pending further proceedings. The police officers from Kiamashiri Police Station, namely Francis Motethia, Alan Kialo Kimanzi, Brian Karioki, and former police commanding station Kennedy Mugambi, were each granted bond ranging from 500,000 and 1 million Kenya shillings.
Ordered that the evidence of the 7 witnesses will be fast-tracked within the next 60 to 90 days. The bond application shall be reconsidered thereafter. The accused is a flight risk and was arrested at Sagana as he was trying to escape after the incidences were reported. The accused is at risk of being lynched by irate members of the public, and that his residence and other properties were burnt down by those members.
However, John Murithi's bond application was denied initially. His lawyer Kemunto Magara filed an application seeking his release on bond, citing 2 charges against him: the alleged causing of death of 17 individuals at Kangai and the purported theft of exhibits from Kiamashiri Police Station.
At this point, he be kept in an environment of absolute safety in light of the IO's affidavit. Prepared to retain the bail application as pending until after the hearing of the 7 witnesses who were identified by the state as crucial, and who may be easily interfered with as they are all blind. The application for bail is not dismissed but may be concluded after the hearing of the aforesaid 7 witnesses.
Martin Masharia, Lookuptv.
Former President Daniel Moi's daughter June Chebet passed away at age 60. In a statement on Thursday, Moi's family announced that June died on Thursday morning. Kenyan leaders have taken to social media to mourn the death of June, the daughter of the late former President Daniel Moi. President William Ruto expressed his heartfelt condolences to the Moi family via his X account, saying, "My heartfelt condolences to the family of the late President Daniel Arap Moi over the loss of June Chebet Moi. May God give you strength at this difficult time. Rest in peace, June." Among other leaders who condoled with the family are cooperatives CS Simon Chelogui and Uasin Gishu Governor Jonathan B., who condoled Chebet as a remarkable businesswoman who made a significant impact to the community. Now, the Teachers Service Commission and the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers have reached an agreement to promote over 30,000 teachers who have stagnated in one position for over 7 years. TSC will employ an extra 20,000 teachers to address the current shortage in junior secondary schools in a joint exercise that will cost the Exchequer over 7.8 billion shillings. This emerged at the end of a 6-day engagement between the teachers' representatives and the commission at Sawela Lodge in Naivasha. Incidentally, senior officials from TSC were conspicuously absent during a media briefing by the KUPPET National Executive Committee.
We had raised concerns as a union, and the concerns were that there were some teachers who were alleged to have been promoted, yet they had died or they had exited the service through resignation or otherwise. These are issues which have been properly addressed in this retreat. And the audit of this has revealed that the promotional positions which existed among the 36,000 teachers was done above board because every county got equal share of the promotions which were available. And we have gone grade per grade, and we are satisfied that what was carried out in the promotion was within the means and the capacity of the commission to undertake.
What the commission needs to ask, and they promise they have already asked the parliament for them to employ the 20,000 teachers, is a total of 4 billion Kenya shillings. And then we have the 26,000 teachers who are supposed to be confirmed to PNP. That will cost the tune of 7.8 billion Kenya shillings. And that should be able to accommodate those two areas. The teachers who had got the presidential decree of being promoted because of their participation in music, drama. Remember now drama is going on in Embu and sports in Machakos, and who had reached to high heights. And the commission has actually promised to look into those teachers, audit, and make sure that they are promoted as per the presidential directive. And then there was the directive, and then there was the issue of the period that the JSS teachers are acting. You know, we said that they should be in those positions of internship for only 1 year.
Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs Musalia Mudavadi has emphasized the urgent need for sweeping regulatory reforms to drive Kenya's economic prosperity. Speaking during the groundbreaking address at the Kenya School of Government in Mombasa, Mudavadi highlighted the potential benefits of adopting Indian technologies to streamline Kenya's regulatory processes and enhance infrastructure development.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to propose some recommendations to address the issues at hand during our deliberations. 1, enhanced coordination. We must foster greater collaboration and coordination among regulatory authorities to ensure coherence, reduction of redundancies, and facilitation of information sharing. Secondly, capacity building. Investing in the capacity building of the regulatory personnel is paramount. Continuous training programs, knowledge sharing initiatives, and exposure to best practices from around the globe to empower our regulatory workforce to navigate complex regulatory landscapes with confidence and competence. We must also look at ourselves. There are other uncompetitive trade practices, transfer pricing. We have a situation where within the financial services, there are some people who may look aside when people deny Kenyan investors an opportunity, and they get into a transfer pricing mechanism with a foreign investor. Rather than investing that money here, they want to take it away through unfair trade practices. Our policies must be dynamic, responsive to the needs of our society, and aligned with international best practices. Similarly, our legal framework should provide clarity, consistency, and enforceability to enable these entities to fulfill their respective mandates effectively.
Central Rift Matata Owners Association has come out guns blazing and vowed to oppose the planned crackdown on public service vehicles on the roads. This follows a move by Transport CS Kipchumba Murkomen announcing far-reaching measures aimed at curbing the increasing road carnages. A.B. Kadenyi tells us more.
Just a few days after Transport Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen announced that they have come up with measures aimed at reducing the number of accidents happening in the country, Central Rift Matata Owners Association have come forward and said that the directive was issued without consultation. The association, led by Stephen Muli, further opposed the plan of the Cabinet Secretary of wanting drivers to go back and undergo training.
Tumeona hii vile waziri Murkomen alisema jana jioni, na tukaona hiyo ni njia moja ya kutufinyilia kama watu wa matatu. Na kama ni mambo ya accidents zinafanyika kila mahali, na ukiangalia zinakuwa caused by lorries. Na kwa mfano hii accident ilifanyika tu hapa Gata Nakuru. Hiyo lori ilikuwa imesimama hapo for 3 days na haikuondolewa. And again, hata ile gari ambayo ilikongwa, hiyo sio gari ya matatu, because ina lepo ya matatu. It does not belong to any sacco.
Muli further added that they have been holding classes for matatu drivers to educate them on various measures for road safety, which aim in helping them avoid getting involved in road accidents.
So ukiangalia all the accident nyingi ambao zimefanyika, hata hizi zinafanyika na school buses, au sio watu wa matatu. Na hii mambo ya kusema retesting of matatu drivers, sisi kama miungano ya matatu tunapinga. Na kama lazima ifanyike kwa all drivers, because drivers does not belong to matatu drivers alone. Hii watu wa maroli wana cause this accident. Kwa nini Murkomen asemi maroli pia irudi samani, ianze kuenda mchana, iache kuenda usiku? Na mambo ya kusema hata mambo ya cameras itazuiaje mambo ya accident? Hizi accidents zote zimefanyika.
The association is now calling on the men of cloth across the country to come together and pray for our roads, while asking the Cabinet Secretary to go out and check the poor state of roads in the country.
Also organized to pray in the regions, because this accident addressema ni kawaida, is not normal, because recently zimeongezeka. And we want also church to get concerned about the accident which are now happening nowadays. And we want prayers. We appeal to clergy in this nation, we as matatu industry, mutuombe na muombe barabara zetu, mutembe mukiombee hizi barabara, na tunaamini the accident will go down, because sometimes munaweza blame drivers na kumbe sio drivers, there is more than that. So we appeal to all clergy in this nation, in all the regions, to organize prayers, road prayers, to pray for our roads.
A.B. Kadenyi, Lookuptv.
A section of Isiolo County residents have demanded immediate action from the government following claims by former Lugari MP Cyrus Jirongo that the late former President Moi's regime knowingly buried toxic nuclear waste in parts of northern Kenya. According to the residents, the situation has been pinpointed as the root cause of the high prevalence of cancer cases in parts of Marsabit, Isiolo, Wajir, Garissa and Mandera counties. Onesmus Musonye with this and more in our news wrap.
Days after former Lugari MP Cyrus Jirongo alluded to former President Daniel Moi's regime disposing nuclear waste in parts of the vast northeastern region, leaders from the Isiolo Islamic Institute have demanded swift action from the government of the day to investigate claims by Jirongo. The leaders saying the state was to blame for the burden of cancer cases in the region and should therefore take responsibility of the damage caused since the late 1980s when the toxic waste is said to have been dumped there.
Serikali iliyopita ya President Moi huko mbele wameleta nuclear waste ya Europe, walichukua pesa na wamezika hizo vitu yote chafu katika wilaya ya Marsabit, wilaya ya Isiolo na wilaya ya Wajir. Kwa sababu hiyo watu wetu wengi wanaendelea kufa na mgonjwa wa cancer.
For one, lazima wa petition the government to compensate the family ambayo walipoteza maisha yao. Ya pili, wale ambayo wanaugua sahi wako katika mahospitali na manyumbani, lazima wapatiwe free health treatment kwa facility ya serikali.
Elsewhere, the State Department of Housing and Urban Department, through the Economic Stimulus Program ESP, is set to construct 8 markets in various trading centers in different counties at a cost of 1.3 billion. Narok Governor Patrick Ntutu said the program is among the mega projects being undertaken by the Kenya Kwanza government to uplift the livelihood of people in the grassroots, as thousands of traders will benefit from the project.
Mimi nikiwa gavana wenyu na mnajua hii hapa ni nyumbani kwangu. Nitakuwa nikipita hapa at least naona kila kitu. Na nitasimama hapo pia kama sisi kuangalia kama mradi mwezi 4 imeisha na rais ameniambia niwasalamia watu ya Lulunga, na kwa sababu tumefanya hizo soko 8 ambaye amenipea. Na hao waheshimiwa wanashukuru sana chairman wa housing Bwana Joana Ngeno. Kwa sababu ile kazi rais anafanya ni kwamba anataka vijana wapate kazi.
Finally, over 17,000 farmers from Murang'a County are said to benefit from maize farming following an agreement between county government and a miller in Kirinyaga. Through the partnership, the county government will contract farmers in all the 35 wards where they will farm maize and later sell it at a cost of 3,500 per bag.
Yes, we have agreed that they'll be off-taking every season a minimum of 35,000 bags per season from Murang'a County. That's an average of 1,000 bags per ward. Murang'a has 35 wards. And we have also agreed to establish aggregation centers, 2 per ward. So let's say, for instance, Kiru ward, there'll be 2 aggregation centers. Karriera ward, 2 aggregation centers.
Nesmas Msonya, Lookuptv.
Let's now get sporty. 200 golfers are expected to grace the PAR 72 Kakamega Golf Club on Saturday during the 3rd leg of the KCB East Africa Golf Tour at the Lucius course. The action is expected to take off at 6:30 a.m., including members from the Kakamega Golf Club and guest golfers from around the country. The winners will join the winning teams from Mombasa and Eldoret in the tour's grand finale, which is scheduled for December 6th. Now, Absa Bank Kenya has renewed its title sponsorship for the Absa Kipkeino Classic Continental Tour, where the biggest international and continental athletes meet on Kenyan soil. The 5th edition of the Absa Kipkeino Classic will be held on 20th April at the Nyayo National Stadium. A total investment of 40 million shillings was made towards Athletics Kenya activities this year. 30 million will be direct sponsorship as title sponsors, while the remaining 10 million will be used as leverage amounts, as well as supporting other Kenyan athletics calendar.
I really don't know what to expect next week, but I'm excited. I know it will be a good run. I know I'm ready, looking at how I ran the Indo season, breaking the national record twice. So I know I'm ready for this one. And don't ask me what I'm expecting, because this year we're not working with that. We're working with how you're feeling and how the atmosphere will be. I'm hoping that this is going to be the weather for next week Saturday.
Tuko ready. Fans mkuje kwa wingi. Uwanja iko open. Usikae kwa nyumba ukisema una watch kwa TV. Haitakuwa mzuri. Kuja witness na macho yako. Maybe unataka kusalimia Umanyala kwa hapa, hiyo siku utamsalimia. Unataka kupiga picha na Mora Umanyala, just come and witness. We are here.
The Europa League quarter-final fixtures are set to be played tonight, with Liverpool hosting Italian side Atalanta tonight at the Anfield. In other matches taking place, Leverkusen are up against West Ham United, while AC Milan battle it out with Roma at San Siro. Lastly, Marseille entertain Benfica at the Velodrome Stadium. And that is all the time we had for you this evening. Kennedy Jumba Serigo across Facebook says, good evening. I'm watching live from Likuyani, Kakamega County. We appreciate you for your feedback and thank you for watching us. Remember, Lookuptv comes to you across all the 47 counties, and you can engage with us across our socials. Lookuptv on Facebook, Lookuptv on X, and Lookuptv on our YouTube channel. As well as to catch the latest stories that are making headlines, our website www.lookuptv.co.ke is where you can catch the latest. I am Nancy Lima, our sign language interpreter. Tonight has been Angel Lois. We appreciate you for watching. Have yourselves a pleasant evening and good night.
We value your feedback and welcome your complaints about our programming and operations. Feel free to get in touch